The following is a discussion of the legal basis of simple majority, absolute majority, and absentee voting in the Philippine jurisprudence before delving into the practices of balance ticket, bandwagon effect, and political alienation in Philippine politics. So firstly, I'm going to provide the legal basis for simple majority and absolute majority. Generally, observance on the concept of simple majority can be found in the 1987 Philippine Constitution, especially concerning the election of officers in the Senate and House of Representatives and the manner of conducting their businesses in Congress, which are defined in the following passages in Article 6, Section 16 of the Constitution. Firstly, the Senate shall elect its President and the House of Representatives its Speaker by a majority vote of all its respective members. Secondly, a majority of each House shall constitute a quorum to do business, but a smaller number may adjourn from day to day and may compel the attendance of absent members in such manner and in such penalties as such House may provide. In an opinion by the Department of Interior and Local Government, or the DILG, concerning the sufficiency of the members of the Sangguniang Bayan of Pagudpud, Ilocos Norte, who voted for the passage of a municipal ordinance dated on October 7, 2019, the DILG stressed the difference between simple majority and absolute majority under the lens of the Philippine jurisprudence in settling the issue. On one hand, the DILG held that the Philippine jurisprudence defines simple majority as that which is 50% plus 1 or that which is greater than half of the membership of the body. On the other hand, the DILG defines the absolute majority as the total membership of an organization in determining a majority. Secondly, I'm going to provide some of the legal basis that observes absentee voting here in the Philippines. Republic Act No. 9189, also known as the Overseas Voting Act of 2003, clearly provides all citizens of the Philippines abroad a system of overseas absentee voting who are not otherwise disqualified by law to vote for positions of President, Vice President, Senators, and party list representatives. Resolution number 10443 perhaps provides one of the most recent rules and regulations concerning absentee voting here in the Philippines. It was promulgated on November 8, 2018 that provides who are entitled to avail absentee voting in connection with the May 13, 2019 national and local elections on the positions of senator and party list representatives. Thirdly, in the Philippines, the plurality system has been enshrined in the 1935, 1973, and 1987 constitutions. Under the 1987 Constitution, all elective officials, President, Vice President, Senators, and members of the House of Representatives are chosen by a direct vote of the people through simple plurality. Moreover, the 1991 Local Government Code provides for the election of local government officials, thus the governor, vice governor, city mayor, vice city mayor, municipal vice mayor, and punong barangay are elected at large in their respective areas. Likewise, members of the local legislative assemblies, such as the provincial board, city and municipal councils, are elected by district and plurality vote. Fourthly, here in the Philippines, the practice of vote buying in elections is linked with the political alienation of the electorate in prevailing political systems. Vote buying is usually viewed as a purely economic exchange in which the voter sells his or her vote to the highest bidder due to a variety of reasons, one of which is the combination between the calculated interest and indifference of the voter. This is the reason the poor and marginalized members in the Philippine society accept the money from agents of political parties in elections, although they are represented by populist parties, since they directly benefit from the money that they acquired from the agents of political parties, and they experience political discontentment from their representations in the government. Lastly, the practice of balance ticket or ticket balance, where a political candidate chooses a running mate, usually of the same party, with the goal of bringing more widespread appeal to the political campaign. Former President Joseph Estrada exemplified such practice in the 1992 Philippine presidential and vice presidential election when he agreed to be the running mate of Eduardo Danding Cuangco, who was running under his own newly formed party, the Nationalist People's Coalition. Ultimately, Cuangco lost, but Estrada won with a lead of 2 million votes over his closest opponent. Before I end this news, I'm going to discuss about the concept of bandwagon effect or the contagion effect. It is a psychological and social phenomenon in politics in which individuals associate themselves with a cause, party, or candidate that they believe will prevail or expected to win in an election. In other words, the bandwagon effect might cause citizens to vote for the person who appears to have more popular support because they want to belong or to be a part of the majority, even when it means going against one's principles or beliefs. Thus, the bandwagon effect is identified with the emotional behavior rather than with the rational calculations that one's interest will be served by joining forces with the expected winner. In the 21st century, here in the Philippines, there is only one man who has practiced the psychological phenomenon of bandwagon effect to its limits, and that person is no other than the President Rodrigo Duterte. Looking back in the campaign for the 2016 presidential and vice presidential elections, ever since Rodrigo Duterte became a spotlight in Philippine mass media, the bandwagon effect that he had established in the campaign for the 2016 presidential and vice presidential election had been known as an unstoppable force. He had been defined by the masses in those few short campaign months for the 2016 elections as the most progressive presidential candidate that this country has ever had, that connects with everyone, old and young, who dreams of a free and equal society, men and women, the middle class, the idealist and pragmatist like no other politician could ever do. And almost everywhere he goes, he is greeted with love and adoration by the masses, almost as if he is the reincarnation of the Messiah. But yeah, we all know what happened after he became the president. So that is it for this news flash. I will end this news with a quote from a great man. Should I go to the left where nothing is right, or to the right where nothing is left? Have a good day, everyone.